Hello and all, it's you, Dr. Stone, Chapter 173, Earth Race, and first and foremost, I do need to apologize, this video is up a day or two late. It's just been one of those crazy weeks, and anybody who is up to date with the most recent chapter of My Hero Academia is well aware of why I needed to prioritize that chapter this week. Yeah, alright, so yeah, that's that. Secondly, I do want to talk about Dr. Chelsea, because I believe I made a mistake when talking about her in the last video. When she said she was barely a teen, I assumed she meant that she was 13 or 14, but somebody posted a link in the comments down below, which seems to say that she's actually 18 or 19 when she said she was barely a teen. She meant she was almost in her 20s. That's my bad. I said a lot of bad things about people who are making lewd comments about her, and I apologize. Oh, and also, someone was wondering if maybe Dr. Chelsea shouldn't be trusted? That is an interesting theory, but it does make a certain amount of sense. I mean, she survived for a year by herself while naked and blind. That's an impressive feat, and you know, it seems a little too coincidental that Xeno and the gang just happened to find her when they needed her. Is it possible that she was woken up by the Y-Man, that she's part of his cult and is just like a really good actor right now, leading them into a trap down the road? Unlikely, but maybe. Anyway, so their plan right now is to build 6 motorcycles. And as they're explaining all this, Dr. Chelsea is very, very, very confused. So Jen gives, you know, a very quick explanation of the last 172 chapters. So on the moon resides the culprit who petrified humanity. Actually, there's a musical note under this, so I think he's singing this entire thing. So on the moon resides the culprit who petrified humanity. To get to the moon, we've embarked on a worldwide adventure to gather resources. Our next stop, South America, also happens to be the source of the original Petra beam. I'm so very, very sorry for that part. I am truly sorry. Anyway, that brief singing explanation is apparently enough for her to understand everything, and she is super hyped about it. She even says,
So hype! It's so freaky how you guys think outside the box!
And then as they explain to her that it's basically a race to get the Petra Beam so they can use it on Stanley's team, before Stanley's team reaches the Petra Beam so they can use it on Senku's team, she quickly realized, wait a minute!
You're a bad dude, Xeno!
And then she quickly apologizes for pointing. Oh, I love her. And so does Suka. I absolutely love that. Suka is so impressed that she doesn't hesitate and how she's the total opposite of her, which is just so freaking adorable. And I'm just so hoping we get to see some, you know, Suka and Chelsea moments in this arc. They're both kind of explorers. I can see that working out pretty well. You know, maybe just Suka tags along whenever Chelsea goes out looking for supplies or something. I think it'd be really cool. Anyway, then Xeno proves that he's in fact still evil. He's still, you know, planning on taking over the entire world. In fact, he even tries to recruit Chelsea to join his plan for world domination in front of Senku's entire team. And, you know, she immediately says, nah, because it sounds like it'd be way more fun to adventure with Senku and the gang, and because she owes them for, you know, making her glasses. But really, Xeno, why would you proposition her in front of everybody? That's the kind of request you make in secret when you're alone. I mean, even if she was planning on joining your team, only an idiot would say yes here. They'd know to, you know, say no in front of everyone and then sneak up to you down the road and say, hey, I'm really in for this whole world domination plan. Let's do this. That was just utter madness, that entire page. But yeah, anyway, despite Xeno still being evil, still trying to go for world domination, they're both super excited, super ecstatic about being able to get their hands on rubber, with Chelsea even saying their besties totally in sync, which, yeah, they kinda are. These two have the weirdest relationship in the entire series, and that is really, really saying something. Oh, we also have a very jealous Chrome, which I absolutely love, you know. Chrome was always the explorer, the adventurer, the one who went out to gather resources. That's basically what he's been doing his entire life, is training to be a sorcerer and then later on a scientist. And now he meets someone who is way, way, way better at it than he is. I don't know, I definitely like to see him learning from her as well. You know, him, Chelsea, Suka all going out to scout the area together. I think it'd be a really interesting moment. I think it'd lead to a lot of growth for all of them. That'd be cool, and I'd really like to see that. Anyway, then Xeno continues with his whole I'm the villain thing as he explains that Stanley is going to catch up to them very, very quickly. Which, yeah, they are. They are on their way, and they will probably overtake Senku's gang by the end of the day, which problematic. Especially since they have a brilliant radar operator who I think earns the award for having the most complicated scar crack we have seen in this entire series. I mean, seriously, this thing's like 2 circles on his face with a bunch of points around them. That's very, very complicated. I think Boichi's going a little crazy with the crack scars. We also do get to check in on Jinro, who is, hey, still alive, yay! But he's tied up, and he has an armed escort leading him to and from the bathroom, so not great. I am still of the opinion that somehow, some way, he's gonna manage to delay Stanley and his team, pull some wires, break something, make the ship be dead in the water for a few hours, just to give Senku the lead he needs to build the motorcycles and get going, maybe? Though it could also be the case that he's not going to make his move, or he's not going to have the opportunity to make his move until they're on dry land. Maybe he'll steal the boat, steal the plane, break the plane, somehow, some way to make sure that the enemy can't chase after Senku and, buy them a few days at least. Anyway, then we flash back over to Senku's team gathering wood, and I seriously just need to comment on the amount of wood that Kohaku is holding with one arm. That is terrifying. I'm fairly certain that's 2 to 3 times her body weight that she's lifting like it's nothing. And as they're trying to figure out the best way to avoid the being tracked by the radar, I was really thinking they were going to go with some sort of stealth technology, like they were going to find a way to hide the boat from the radar. But instead they decided to go for a sail, though sadly enough, they don't have a sail. I mean, even Chelsea chimes in, it took her a full year to make these kites. How much longer does it take them to make a sail? And then they all kind of look around and realize, that's it! Much to Mr. Radar's dismay, as he's realizing they are suddenly moving way, way, way faster. And they've gotten even bigger, because they are basically kite sailing. And I have a few favorite things about this. First of all, it literally says hell on the kite. Oh, that's amazing. They actually kept the letters in the right order, so it spelled out hell. Oh, I love that. I love that. Secondly, I assume that the kite was tied to the boat or something, given that it's literally pulling the ship with the force of a Formula 1 race car, but no! Taiju, Tsukasa, Hyoga, they are holding onto this with their bare hands! And somehow their arms have not been torn off. Just really emphasizes how freaking insanely, ridiculously powerful these people are. So yeah, now as long as the wind's blowing, they don't need to stop to refuel, and with their pro-sailor good old Ryu, they're masters of the sea. They can get enough of a lead to get the rubber they need to build the motorcycles, to get over the Andes, get to the Amazon River, and just sail down it all the way to the source of the Petra Beam. Yay! Though that does leave the question of what exactly is Stanley's team gonna do when Senku and the gang make landfall and start trekking their way through the Andes, through the Amazon wilderness and all that. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be their first time, trekking through jungles and forests and whatnot. They are professional soldiers. I'm sure they've been in countries where they've had to do that. But are the planes still an option? I'm not actually sure about that, because I'm fairly certain we first saw the new and improved Perseus, the planes were on it, but now in this shot, the planes are not on it. They leave the planes behind, or the planes below deck, or something like that. I'm not sure, because, if they had the planes, they could certainly follow after them, maybe fly over the Andes Mountain and then land them on the Amazon River itself, or, just crash it into the Amazon and jump out before the plane crashes. Stanley did that way, way back when he first met Senku and the gang, so I'm sure he could do that again. It would cost him the plane, yeah, but, then he could chase after Xeno, which is all he really wants to do. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the chapter. Chelsea's even more adorable than I thought she was last week. And Xeno is still evil, or as Chelsea says, "You're a bad dude, Xeno," as she points at him. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, seriously, let's not forget that last week she referred to him as her bestie. Oh, she's a very, very fickle girl, and I love that about her. Hopefully that doesn't lead to her, switching sides and joining the Y-Man, because that sounds like more fun. Unlikely, but we'll see. And like I said, I'm really hoping, her and Suka and maybe Chrome as well team up to do some exploration together. I think it'd be absolutely amazing to see. still have hope that Jinro is going to do something, somehow, some way that saves the day. I mean, in my absolute fantasy world, he manages to take out Stanley and all the enemy soldiers, and Luna is so impressed that she falls in love with him. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun. I am kind of curious how Matsukaze feels about all this, because, Jinro basically sacrificed himself for the sake of his vessel. I mean, is he disappointed that his master sold out his friend? Is he touched and honored that his master did it to save his life? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure about that, but please leave the all down below. What do you think of this chapter? What do you think? Is Chelsea secretly a spy for the Y-Man? Maybe not, but that'd definitely be an interesting twist, and because there's two things this series loves, it's recycling, like turning the help sign into a kite sail, and proving the fans wrong. I mean, on the whole trip to America, I kept ranting about how they wouldn't find yellow dent corn because, after thousands of years without human intervention, it would have changed, would have mutated, maybe would have gone extinct. But oh, how the series proved me wrong when they proved that the yellow dent corn wasn't there by accident, but that it had been grown by human hands. Oh, I love that. So maybe, the whole thing of them just happening to find a geographer will actually be part of some big master plan by the Y-Man. It could happen. It could definitely happen. But let me think of all that down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. And until then,
peace.